Everybody, bore da pawb. This is your assembly for Wednesday the 24th of February, and today this assembly is all about perseverance. Now you might have seen in the news recently that NASA have sent a rover up into space, and last week on February the 18th the rover called Perseverance landed safely on Mars, and it's there to search for signs of past life. Now what really interested me about this was the name. I wanted to know why they called it Perseverance. So I had a little look on the internet and I found out that this rover, Perseverance rover, was actually named by a 13-year-old boy, you could see him in the photo below, called Alexander Mather. From the United States of America, and he won a competition to name the rover Perseverance, and he said that he thought it would be a good name for the rover because the mission was really challenging and they were going to have lots of obstacles in their way and it's going to get tough at times, but it was really important they kept on going, they didn't give up, and the space scientists and the space engineers, they kept going even when things were really challenging, and they kept going so they could be successful in their mission to find out if there was ever life on Mars. So we are going to our assembly today. It's all about perseverance. It's all about keeping going even when things are really tough, even when things are really tricky and you want to give up. You persevere and you keep on going. So this assembly is called Going for Goals. Okay, now if you're in your reception or year one, you might think, gosh, that's a really tricky word, persevere, but all that word means is to keep on going, and even if something is really tricky, really challenging, you keep on going and you don't give up, you persevere. Okay, and as we like to say in St Helens, we don't say I can't do it, we say I can't do it yet. Okay, so I've got a story for you all about perseverance, and this story is about a little boy called Samindra. And this little boy, Samindra, has got something very difficult to achieve. Okay, so let's have a go. Off we go. So a long time ago, in a village at the bottom of a mountain, Samindra lived with his mother and baby sister. When Samindra was little, his father had been taken away to fight in someone else's war across the mountains. Samindra's mother spoke of his father often. He is the bravest, strongest and most hard-working man in the village, she said. I'll never be like my father, Samindra told himself. Samindra did not feel brave or strong, and he certainly did not work hard. You'll never be like your father, his mother said to him when he ran off and made mischief instead of helping on the farm. Samindra's mother worked hard to feed the family. The family's prized possession was an old tractor. It was always breaking down, but she always got it going again. Without it, they would have to leave the farm. One day, Samindra's mother got on the tractor so she could start harvesting the corn. There was a terrible crunch. The tractor shuddered and Samindra's mother was thrown from the seat and onto the hard earth. Her leg was twisted beneath her. Samindra could see she was in pain, but she still got to her feet and looked at the tractor. It's no good. I can't mend it. The tractor needs a new carburettor. I'll have to go to the village over the mountain to buy a new one, she said. She started to walk down the path, but after 2 steps her legs gave way and she fell to the ground in tears. It's no good, she said. I can't get to the end of the path. I'll never be able to go over the mountain. We'd miss the harvest and the crops will be ruined. Samindra looked at the mountain towering above him. His mouth was dry and his heart was pounding. His legs went suddenly weak and he felt as though he had a big knot inside him. I will go, Samindra said. He knew he had to help. It was the family's only chance. Without the new carburettor, there would be no food for winter and they would have to leave the farm or they would die. The next day, Samindra kissed his mother goodbye and set off. His mother waved and smiled weakly. Samindra's legs still trembled and he felt a big hard knot inside his tummy. That day he walked and walked and walked further than he had ever walked in his life. The land became steeper and the sun grew hotter. He stopped to rest under the shade of a stunted tree and ate and drank a little. Then he looked up at the mountain above and saw there was still such a long way to go. He sighed and dropped his head in his hands. I can't go on, he said to himself. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Then the strangest thing happened. From somewhere he heard a faint voice which seemed to be speaking to him over and over again. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Samindra heard the voice, but he did not know where it was coming from. Was it from outside him or inside? Keep going, keep going, keep going. Somehow the voice gave him the courage in his heart and the strength in his legs. He remembered that more than anything in the world, they needed the carburettor. I will keep going, he said, and strode up onto the mountain. When it began to grow dark, Samindra knew that he would have to rest for the night. He didn't like the dark, and there on the mountain the dark was darker than he had ever known it. He built a fire, but in spite of the bright flames he began to shiver. He didn't know if he was shivering because he was cold or because he was scared. All he knew was that he wanted to go home. He wanted to leave the horrible mountain and run back home and be safe and warm again. I can't go on, he said to himself. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Then, from somewhere, he heard a faint voice which seemed to be speaking to him over and over again. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Samindra heard the voice, but he did not know where it was coming from. Was it from outside him or inside? You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. With the words in his ears, somehow Samindra felt less afraid. I can do it, he murmured to himself as he fell fast asleep. Samindra woke with the sun and was amazed to see that he was nearly at the top of the mountain. He struggled and climbed and struggled until at last he was standing on the very top. Below him, in the distance, he could see the village he was heading to, but it was so very far away that his heart failed him. For a moment he forgot about his family and the tractor and everything. It's no good, he said. I just can't do it. Then he heard from somewhere a faint voice which seemed to be speaking to him over and over again, saying, You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Samindra heard the voice, but he did not know where it was coming from. Was it from outside him or inside? You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Samindra took a deep breath. I can do it, he said out loud, and I will, and he set off to the village below. When at last Samindra reached the village on the other side of the mountain, he went to the shop and bought the part for the old tractor. It was a long way back, just as long as the way there, but whenever he was tired or scared or fed up, Samindra said to himself, I will keep going, I can do it, I will do it. The nearer he got to his village and his home, the quicker he seemed to travel. When he was nearly there, the villagers came out to greet him. He ran straight home to find his mother. I climbed the mountain, cried Samindra. I got the carburettor. His mother smiled at him. I knew you would, she said. After all, Samindra, you were like your father. So that was a really good story to help us to understand about perseverance, and hopefully we can be like Samindra if things are hard, or we might think they might be a little bit scary because we don't know how to do them, or we might have things that get in our way. We can say to ourselves, I can do it, I will keep doing it, I'm going to keep on going and I'm going to get there in the end. So I want you to think about now today something that you were going to achieve today, something you were going to persevere at. It might be with your home learning, if you're in the juniors and you're working at home, or it might be something you do in class if you're in reception or year 1 or year 2. So I want you to say to yourself, I'm going to keep going, even if it's tricky, I'm going to keep going, I can do it and I will do it and I'll get there in the end. So, and as we say in St. Helens, I can't do it. I can't do it yet. Okay, it's really important that we try and think like that, and then we will succeed at all our goals. Okay, so that's our assembly for today. As always, we're going to end our assembly with our school prayer. So, dwy dy gyda gilydd, llygad ar gau, hands together, eyes closed, or you may pray in whichever way you wish. And we'll say our school prayer, Anil Tree. 1, 2, 3. This is our school. Let peace dwell here. Let the rooms be full of contentment. Let love abide here, love of one another and love of life itself. Let our school be a lovely place where all of us are caring to each other, to work our best and show our smiling face. Staff and children helping one another today and always. Have a lovely day, boys and girls. Well done for all your brilliant work you were doing. Keep it up, and I will see you very soon. Bye.